It is Sunday, June 7th. I was right, yesterday was D-Day. Let me fix my hair. It is a stunningly gorgeous morning. Bright blue sky, cool breeze, bright sun, no humidity. Yeah, this is like the perfect day. When I was thinking about retire, oops, the sun is right. I wonder if I turned, if that would help. I don't have anything to show you with colors, so. Oh, I was going to show you my knitting. I forgot. This was the kind of day. This was exactly what I pictured myself doing when I was working. My picture of me retired was me sitting on my deck on a beautiful morning drinking coffee, knitting. Hold on, I'll go get my Tulpe so you can. The girls came with me. Oops. There you are. There's Pearl leaving. I've been yelling at her. Oh, she's so annoying. She has to go where you go, which I'm fine with, except she has to go in front of you. And since she doesn't actually know where you're going, she has to stop all the time. And she picks like the narrowest places to stop so you can't get around her. It's not like she's tiny. You can't step over her. Excuse me while I rant about my dog. So, I knit a little bit last night on my Tulpe. And I'll show you. How it's going. So now it is, now we do have to worry about color. So here it is. This is the top. Goes across like this. It's going to be blocked out a little bit because it's supposed to be a little bit wide. And then I know it's hard to tell, but I've actually knit some of the body. And it goes down, I don't know how many inches. It's really, you're really kind of making a square. So this is my Tulpe. And I'm really happy with it. I'm loving the color. I know it's not very bright and cheerful, but it's kind of a gray green. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a few, you know, there's a little more, you can see there's some lines there, but there's a little more interest in the yarn itself than is being picked up by the, but I want to turn it this way so you can see it in the sun. Anyway, so that's my Tulpe. This is what it's gonna look like when it's done. And this is by Lisa Haynes, who is Maliha Knits. Maliha Designs. So now I'm at the stockinette spot, which I don't mind. As you know, been a stockinette girl lately, but I didn't mind the tulips either, so that was nice. Thank you, Linda. The lovely Linda gave me this pattern. And she, oops, losing some stitches. She thought I would like it, and she was absolutely right. I do. And she bought it for me as a surprise gift, which was so sweet. Thank you, Linda. Got my time to put my needle protectors on. Anyway, so I worked a little bit on that, but not very much. I might have gotten an inch done last night. I read a book yesterday. Yeah. And watched the news. I've been watching the news on YouTube, and I've been getting my news from all kinds of places, mostly not US based. So I was watching DW News on YouTube yesterday. It's a very good news channel. It's German based, D for Deutsch. And they talk about a lot of stuff, and that's where I get my news about coronavirus, what's going on in the world. But they had an article on all the protests around the world against, what's happening with, in support of the protests in the United States. And it made my heart sing. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people out in London and in Berlin and in Brazil and in Mexico, and they weren't just out there in support. They were out there in support of their own people, and so they were interviewing some people of color in Germany and how they are feeling very supported by the march because they have issues too. I mean, and of course in Brazil there's lots of things going on in Brazil, so the people were out for themselves and in support. And it made me happy to see that. This is not a small thing. I mean, this really hits to the core of people and the core of society and the core of humanity. And I was so happy to see that report. It just really made my day. Made me cry. I'm crying thinking about it. Anyway, so I watched the news and felt good for the first time in, what is this, number 77, 78 days. Oh. It's interesting how coronavirus has taken a back seat in the news that I watch. Although I'm skipping some of the coronavirus. I do recommend DW channel on DW News on YouTube if you want to find out what's going on. They do a lot of in-depth things about coronavirus and sort of what the current science is that they know about, and whatever. And it's a whole different view of the world. And you get a very different view of the United States when you watch theirs, because their media, while their media, DW and BBC may be biased in one way or another in their own country, they don't appear to be very partisan when they're talking about the United States, which is nice. So you feel like you're getting news and not propaganda. So anyway, so that was nice. And I slept again 3 days in a row. Kind of crazy, although I had some crazy dreams, which of course means I woke up, but that's how I knew I had dreams. But I watched a little bit. I can't remember who it was who recommended it. I'm sorry. And I can't remember the name of it either. So this is going to be a very helpful conversation, but it's ASBD, or it's an acronym about a kind of video, and it's people, they're just whispering, and it's supposed to, like, I don't know, do something to your connections in your brain or something interesting. I'm not sure. I'm going to need to read up on it a little bit more, but I mean, this was all about the sound. So the dogs just left the deck, as you can tell from the earthquake. It's all about the sound, and it's tiny, tiny little sounds. So this is, I think it's like something you're supposed to try to fall asleep to or meditate to or something like that, because it's all sounds, but it's like the tiniest little sound. What I was watching, he was pulling pins out of a styrofoam ball, and so with a he must have like a kick-ass microphone, and so you're just listening to that little sound. It was fascinating. But But I can't figure out how, unless I sleep on the couch, I can't figure out how I would do that to fall asleep to. And I hate to think what YouTube would, you know, offer me next, which would be like Joe Rogan or something. They always offering me Joe Rogan next. But that was really fascinating. I'm also going to be, like I said, you know, doing some research about meditation. A couple of you meditate and have meditated for a long time. So that's interesting. Well, a couple of you have told me that you meditate. There are probably many more of you who do meditate. So I'm still thinking, you know, like working that out, what I think would work for me. But 3 nights in a row. So I think that's really good. It also, I made a big change in June. I'm doing a food challenge thing for myself. And I don't talk about my diet very much, but of course, you know, when you're concentrating on that kind of thing, it takes a big part of your life. So my food thing is a big part of my life at the moment. And I think it might be helping my sleeping too, because, you know, I do keto, which means I have 20 carbs or less per day, and I don't have any grains or anything like that ever. But, you know, vegetables have carbs. So last night Dennis made Portuguese pork, which is kind of his pork stew, but it has peppers in it, and he put some peas. Peas aren't as bad as I thought they were in terms of carbs, but they're carby. So I get my carbs from vegetables, and not very many vegetables. We don't eat a lot of vegetables. We're practically carnivore, except we're not. We eat onions and peppers and celery, you know, those kind of things that flavor and add dimension to things. But other than that, not too much. It's strawberry season here, and so we will be looking to get some strawberries, but we can, but that'll be my carbs, so I have to be very careful not to have too many. But I can have berries. Berries are pretty low carb, and so I might get some strawberries lately. But anyway, so that's how I eat. My carbs are from vegetables, like peppers and onions and things like that. And but this month I am fasting on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, which means that I will have my dinner tonight, and I will stop eating around 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I won't have any calories after 7:30 or 8 o'clock tonight. And then the way it went this past week, on Tuesday, I will eat something probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm fasting for 40 hours, about 40 hours. There are lots and lots of health benefits to fasting. There are a lot of processes in the body that don't happen if you are in a feeding state. And these processes are really important. So fasting gives your body plenty of time to do those processes. And of course, when you're fasting, I'm fat adapted. That's what keto does. It means that my body doesn't burn glucose. It doesn't burn carbs. It doesn't, you know, so my energy doesn't come from glucose. My energy comes from ketones, which are from fat. So my body's running on fat, and my body has plenty of fat to run on. And so when I'm fasting, it's just really easy. You can do an alternate day fast if you're not keto. It's just really harder, because one of the amazing things about keto is you don't get hungry. you just don't get hungry. So I mean, after 24 hours, you get hungry, you say, I should eat something, you know, but it's not like when I was on a Weight Watchers diet or every other one I ever was on. You just don't get hungry. And so anyway, that's what I did last week. And so I was surprised on Monday and Tuesday that I didn't sleep well, and Wednesday, because one of the things I thought fasting might help would be my sleep, and it didn't seem to help. But then so Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I slept well. So maybe that's kicking in. I don't know. So we shall see. So my plan is to fast Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays throughout the whole month of June. I'm doing this partly for my health and partly for my weight, because my weight's been stuck for, well, it's June. My weight's been stuck since February. You know, up and down 5 pounds. Well, I've complained to you about it, and I've decided I just want to get through that whatever weight barrier I'm hitting, and so this is what I decided to do. You can find lots of videos about alternate day fasting and the benefits of it. I'll try to find a link. There's an amazing doctor, a Canadian doctor named Fung, who is a big proponent of fasting and talks a lot about he's a nephrologist? Is that a kidney guy? I'm not sure. I think he's a kidney guy. Anyway, he has a channel on YouTube, and I'll try to link to it. I'll try to make some notes in the show notes of this, so in case you're interested or worried. I don't want you to worry about me. I'm very, very healthy. And working on staying that way. But I know people worry it sounds drastic and unhealthy, but I do not believe that it is such, and there are lots of studies showing that's the case. So don't worry about me. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. So I'm wondering if my fasting is finally kind of helping me with my sleeping too. So it could be that. I am really indulging myself. I am gonna spill that on me. I am having cream in my coffee today. I've been drinking my coffee black because I can drink black coffee on a fast, so I can drink black coffee every day, and I feel like cream in my coffee all the time has been a problem. So I am. But this morning I got up and said, well, I'm eating both Saturday and Sunday in a row. Maybe Sunday I get to have cream in my coffee. So I'm working it out as I go along, you know, making up the rules. But after I stop tonight, I won't eat again until Tuesday. Probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It depends. I get a little hungry, and you know, and I get a little hungry on, you know, on my fast days around 3 o'clock, and so I have a cup of tea or whatever, and that's one of the reasons I've been a little bit productive last week, is that when it's time for me to have dinner, because I would normally eat between 3 and 8, 3 and 7, 3:30, 7:30, like that, every day, because I have time restricted eating and I only eat during those hours, and so those are when I would be eating. I've been going upstairs and doing something. That's when I did my pants and, you know, worked in my room, and that's when I did my clothes on Friday. And so I figured, you know, gives me 9 hours of work upstairs. Eventually, you know, by the end of the month, who knows, I might have my room all organized. It could happen. Because it's easier for me to not be downstairs when Dennis is cooking for himself and eating and, you know, having his wine and all that stuff, you know. So so I was working upstairs. So that's the story with me, and it's possible that that has helped me with my sleeping, is why I mention it today. And just a little bit of information about what's been going on with me, because I didn't mention in the last week that I didn't eat anything yesterday, or I'm not eating anything today. But Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are my fast days. And so at week 1, checked off, and it worked out fine. So I'm pretty happy with that plan, and we'll see what happens. See how I feel, see how much weight I've lost, and hopefully I'm breaking through my barrier and will be able to continue downward after that. And getting all these amazing benefits of fasting. So I will be out here today for a while, that's for sure. My mother-in-law didn't have a good night, but we're still on to go over there tonight and visit. And I'm taking her to the doctor tomorrow. I offered, you know, when she told us she was going, oh no, I can drive myself. And then she called this morning and said, would you mind taking me? Garland doesn't want me to go by myself. I'm happy to take you. I offered. She said, I know you did, dear. She's a sweetie. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, which means if I don't mention the lawn and procrastinate, maybe Dennis will have to mow everything tomorrow. Just kidding, he won't. There's no way in hell. So, but it is beautiful. It is a beautiful day. So, oh, my Tulpe's out here, so I may just put this up, come back out, and knit for a while. Yeah, that sounds like a good day. So I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I hope there's good news on your news feed, whatever that is, from news from your family, if it's not from the world. I hope everyone's well. I hope all the best for you. And I will see you tomorrow, so stay safe and stay sane.